Welcome to the Manly Mind Body channel. If you are new here, please subscribe and leave a comment saying, "Hi, you subscribed." Now let's get into the video. How do you handle disrespect? It's a critical question because disrespect can consume a person's life. We often think of disrespect as a small, trivial matter, a brief moment of annoyance that flits across our day. But it's more than that. It's a pervasive issue that can spiral out of control, leading to severe consequences. Think about it. Around the world, countless individuals are languishing behind bars, their freedom stripped away, all because they responded to disrespect in a moment of unchecked anger. It's easy to dismiss them, but the truth is, we all face our own trials of disrespect. So what's the solution? The Stoics, wise philosophers of ancient times, provide us with a roadmap. They teach us not just to react, but to respond, to handle disrespect with grace and dignity. In this video, we'll delve into 8 Stoic lessons for dealing with disrespect. So stick around as we uncover the wisdom of the Stoics. When faced with disregard or insults, resist the urge to retaliate. This is easier said than done, isn't it? The heat of the moment can cloud our judgment, causing us to react impulsively. But here's where the Stoic philosophy comes to our rescue. It encourages us to stay calm, to take a deep breath, and to detach ourselves emotionally from the situation. Imagine if you could observe the incident as a third person, devoid of any personal bias. This mental distance brings clarity, helping us realize that most disrespectful acts aren't worth our response. They're often petty, born out of the other person's frustrations rather than any fault of our own. But it's crucial to understand that it's not the disrespect itself that causes the harm. It's our interpretation of it. When we assign a negative meaning to an act, we allow it to affect us. So the key lies in maintaining calm and shifting our perspective. Remember, it's not the disrespect itself, but your interpretation of it that causes harm. Stoicism isn't about passivity. It's about asserting your dignity. Asserting your dignity doesn't mean you have to be aggressive or confrontational. Instead, it's about standing firm in your values and letting others know when they've crossed a line. It's about respecting yourself enough to say, "No, this is not acceptable." When setting boundaries, it's essential to do so calmly and respectfully. Let the other person know how you feel and why their actions or words were disrespectful. Use I statements to express your feelings without blaming or accusing. For example, you might say, "I felt disrespected when you did this because..." Remember, the goal is not to win an argument or to make the other person feel bad. It's to communicate your feelings and expectations clearly, so the other person knows how to treat you in the future. Asserting your dignity also involves non-verbal communication. Maintain strong eye contact to show that you demand respect. Instead of blaming others, reflect on your own actions. A simple phrase, yet it carries a profound implication. It's all too easy to point fingers to say, "They started it," or "It's their fault." But let's pause for a moment. Let's turn the mirror towards ourselves. Could it be that we've contributed to the situation in some way? Did we inadvertently say or do something that provoked the disrespect? It's not about self-blame, but about self-awareness. It's about understanding our role in the dynamic and taking responsibility for our actions. Imagine a world where everyone took a moment to reflect before reacting, where self-reflection was a norm, not an exception. How many conflicts could be de-escalated? How many relationships could be saved? And sometimes, upon reflection, we might realize we owe an apology. It's not always easy to say, "I'm sorry," but it's a powerful step towards resolution. Self-reflection can lead to apologies if necessary. Pause before reacting. Is the disrespect a reflection of the other person's pain or insecurities? Now we're diving into the essence of understanding the source of disrespect. Often when someone disrespects you, it's less about you and more about them. It could be a projection of their own insecurities, pain, or unresolved issues. This perspective is crucial to grasp. It's like stepping into their shoes and seeing the world from their viewpoint. It's not about excusing their behavior, but rather understanding their motive. This insight can be a powerful tool that helps shift your reaction from anger to empathy. When you see the disrespect as a mirror reflecting their inner turmoil rather than a personal attack, it becomes easier to let go. You're no longer the target, you're just an observer of their behavior. Understanding this can help you let go of hurtful comments. So next time when you're faced with disrespect, pause, consider the source, and remember, it's not always about you. Disrespect is inevitable in life. This is a simple truth we must all come to terms with. It's as inescapable as the rising and setting of the sun. And the sooner we accept this reality, the sooner we can free ourselves from the grips of anger and resentment. But acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean we allow ourselves to be trampled upon. No, it means understanding the nature of the world we live in and adapting ourselves accordingly. It's about acknowledging that we cannot control the actions, words, or thoughts of others, but we can control how we react to them. Let's imagine for a moment that someone has just thrown an insult your way. You could retaliate, escalating the situation further. Or you could take a moment, breathe, and choose not to let their words affect you. Because at the end of the day, their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. Focus on controlling your reactions rather than trying to control others' behavior. Responding to disrespect with humor can disarm the situation. Now, this isn't about laughing off insults or belittling your feelings. Instead, it's about using humor as a tool to diffuse tension and redirect the conversation. Imagine this. Someone makes a snide remark. You could get angry, or you could come back with a witty retort that lightens the mood. You haven't ignored the disrespect, but you've changed the dynamic. It's like judo for social interactions. You're using the momentum of the disrespect to steer the conversation in a new direction. Humor also demonstrates emotional intelligence. It shows that you can rise above the negativity and keep your cool. You're not letting someone else's disrespect dictate your mood or reaction. Remember, the goal isn't to become a stand-up comedian or to one-up the other person with your wit. It's to take control of the situation in a way that fosters positivity and respect. Humor can shift the interaction towards a more positive outcome. Sometimes, the best response to disrespect is to listen. This might sound counterintuitive, but let's break it down. When disrespect is hurled your way, it often masks an underlying issue, a deeper concern that the individual has failed to communicate effectively. Active listening comes into play here. It's not about simply hearing the words spoken, but discerning the emotions, intentions, and concerns behind them. It's about showing empathy, offering a nod, or responding with, "I understand where you're coming from." By doing this, you're not justifying the disrespect, but you're acknowledging the other person's feelings and perspectives. You're giving them space to express themselves, which can often diffuse the tension and open a path to resolution. Remember, people often disrespect others when they feel unheard or misunderstood. By practicing active listening, you're offering them a platform to be heard, to feel valued. Active listening can be a potent tool in dealing with disrespect. Forgiveness isn't a sign of weakness, but of strength. It's an act of liberation, not just for the one who wronged you, but more importantly, for yourself. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy burden, a weight that only grows heavier with time. But when you choose to forgive, you choose to unshackle yourself from this burden. Forgiveness doesn't mean you condone the disrespect. It means you refuse to let it consume you. It's a decision to not let past wrongs define your present or dictate your future. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace of mind, and your freedom. Remember, forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It requires patience, courage, and compassion. But the reward is invaluable. It's a journey towards healing, towards acceptance, and ultimately, towards inner peace. In the grand scheme of things, forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-love and self-care. Letting go of resentment frees you from its shackles and leads to inner peace. Remember, dealing with disrespect requires patience, self-awareness, and resilience. It's not a one-time solution, but a lifelong journey. Let's quickly recap our Stoic toolbox. Maintain your calm in the face of disregard. Set clear boundaries to assert your dignity. Reflect on your own actions to understand your role in the situation. Consider the source of the disrespect, as it's often a reflection of the other person's pain or insecurities. Accept that disrespect is a part of life, and focus on controlling your reactions. Use humor to disarm the situation and shift the interaction towards positivity. Practice active listening to understand the concerns behind the disrespect. And finally, choose forgiveness. It's a sign of strength and leads to inner peace. These 8 lessons are your guide to navigating conflicts with grace and dignity. Make them part of your life and see the change for yourself. Until next time, stay stoic. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.